Imagine this for a moment. What if everything we've seen only in movies becomes a reality? A question that might seem outlandish, even laughable to some, but history has shown us that what was once confined to the realm of science fiction has often found a way to creep into our reality. Take a moment to reflect on the countless stories, movies, and video games that have depicted a world overrun by zombies. These narratives have fascinated us, terrified us, and even made us ponder, what if? And today, that what if is edging closer to becoming a reality. Let's take a step back. Zombies, a concept that has its roots in Haitian folklore, have been a part of our popular culture for decades. We've seen them as mindless, reanimated corpses in George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. We've experienced the emotional intensity and intimate relationships in the midst of a zombie apocalypse through video games like The Last of Us. We've even chuckled at their comedic representations in films like Shaun of the Dead. But the news we're about to delve into isn't a new movie release or a video game sequel. This isn't another fictional tale to add to our zombie lore. This is science. This is reality. A young man, a scientist, has reportedly created the first ever zombie virus. Yes, you heard that right. A virus that could potentially reanimate the dead, turning them into what we've come to know as zombies. A virus that could transform our world into a post-apocalyptic landscape that we've only seen on screen. A virus that could make us question the very fabric of life and death. So I ask you again. What if everything we've seen only in movies becomes a reality? What if the line between fiction and reality blurs? And perhaps the most pressing question of all. So what would you do if you woke up to a world where zombies exist? Our story begins with a young man, not a scientist in a lab coat, but an unexpected pioneer in virology. From an early age, he was captivated by the intricate world of viruses. This wasn't a fascination born out of a love for horror movies or an obsession with the macabre. Instead, it was a genuine curiosity about the power of these microscopic entities that could bring the world to a standstill. He was not a typical student. In school, he was known for questioning everything, challenging conventional wisdom, and pushing boundaries. He wasn't satisfied with the answers in textbooks. This thirst for knowledge, coupled with an insatiable curiosity, led him down a path less traveled. His journey into virology began quite unceremoniously. Armed with a second-hand microscope, borrowed biology textbooks, and a basement that doubled as a makeshift lab, he started his exploration. Day and night he studied, experimented, and learned, driven by an innate desire to understand the mysteries of the viral world. His interest in viruses wasn't purely academic. He saw them as nature's most efficient machines capable of changing the course of human history. He wondered, what if we could harness their power? What if we could guide their evolution? This young man wasn't motivated by fame or fortune. Instead, his drive was fueled by the desire to push the boundaries of our understanding of viruses. He believed that by decoding the language of viruses, we could learn to speak it, control it, and even shape it. The process wasn't easy. There were countless nights of failures and frustrations, but he was relentless in his pursuit. With every failed experiment, he only became more determined, more focused, more resolute. His efforts finally bore fruit when he stumbled upon a breakthrough that would change everything. He had created a new strain of virus unlike anything we had seen before. A virus that mirrored the stuff of nightmares in fiction. A virus that could potentially reanimate the dead. The world's first zombie virus. And so, armed with curiosity and a daring spirit, the seeds of a new reality were sown. In the unlikeliest of settings, the first ever zombie virus was born. Picture this, a quiet lab, the hum of machines and the aroma of disinfectant. Our unlikely scientist, a young man with a fascination for the unknown, had been working tirelessly, experimenting, testing, and finally he had a breakthrough. He had created a virus, a microbe that was unlike any other. It was a Frankenstein of science, pieced together from different viral strains. A bit of influenza, a pinch of rabies, all bound together with the tenacity of a common cold. A concoction so unique it was terrifying. Now here's where it gets interesting. This virus had a particular mode of operation. Once it entered the body, it began a systematic attack not on the physical body but on the brain. It targeted the frontal lobe, the part of our brain responsible for reasoning, problem-solving, and controlling our behavior. As the virus multiplied and spread, it essentially rewired the brain, dampening the human elements of logic and emotion. It heightened aggression and reduced the capacity for rational thought. The infected person, thus, exhibited traits akin to those of a zombie. Mindless, aggressive, and driven by a primal instinct. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. The virus had a peculiar trait: it couldn't survive outside a host body for more than a few seconds. This meant that it couldn't be transmitted through the air or water. It needed direct contact with the host, specifically a bite. The chances of a global pandemic were slim, but the mere existence of such a virus was a game-changer. It opened up a Pandora's box of questions and concerns. It blurred the lines between fiction and reality, between the possible and the impossible. Just like that, what was once the stuff of nightmares and movie screens became a chilling possibility. News of the creation of a zombie virus sent shockwaves around the world. It was the headline on every news channel, the topic of every conversation. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, along with other global health organizations, were quick to respond. The CDC issued a statement acknowledging the existence of the virus and assuring the public that they were taking every necessary measure to understand and contain it. They stressed the importance of not giving in to panic, and maintained that the situation was under control. Simultaneously, the World Health Organization, WHO, called an emergency meeting of health experts from around the globe. They discussed potential strategies to tackle the virus should it become a global health threat. They also emphasized the need for transparency and cooperation between countries in sharing information about the virus. Meanwhile, the public reaction was a mix of fear, disbelief, and intrigue. Social media was ablaze with speculation and theories. Some dismissed the news as a hoax, while others expressed genuine fear about the potential implications. And then there were those who were intrigued, curious about the science behind the virus and the possibilities it could open up. There was fear, yes, but there was also a strange kind of excitement. After all, this was something straight out of a science fiction movie. It was a terrifying prospect. But it was also undeniably fascinating. Governments around the world were on high alert, monitoring the situation closely. Scientists and researchers were working around the clock, studying the virus and its potential effects. It was an unprecedented situation, and everyone was bracing themselves for what could come next. In the face of this new development, the world held its breath, waiting to see what would come next. With the creation of a zombie virus, the world as we know it could change forever. It's a startling thought, isn't it? Something we've only seen in the realm of fiction, now potentially a part of our reality. The implications are vast and multifaceted, raising questions that challenge our understanding of science, ethics, and the very nature of life and death. So, what does this mean for our future? Well, it's hard to say with certainty. We're in uncharted territory here. However, it's crucial that we consider potential safeguards. The world's scientific community would need to rally together, developing containment protocols and researching potential cures to counteract the virus. Our healthcare systems would need to adapt to manage and treat potential outbreaks. But beyond the practical implications, there are profound ethical considerations to ponder. The creation of a zombie virus raises questions about the sanctity of life and the limits of scientific exploration. It's a scenario that demands a deep and thoughtful exploration of our values and our responsibilities as a society. And then, there's the possibility of a future where zombies could exist. It's a concept that's both fascinating and terrifying. It challenges our understanding of the world and forces us to rethink our place in it. Could we coexist with such entities? Or would our society crumble under the weight of fear and uncertainty? As we grapple with these questions, we are reminded of the power of science and the responsibility that comes with it. We are forced to confront the reality that our actions have consequences, sometimes far beyond what we might initially imagine. As we stand on the precipice of a new reality, we are left to wonder, what does the future hold when the line between fiction and reality blurs? It's a question that will continue to echo in our minds as we navigate this uncharted territory. Because one thing is clear: the future is anything but predictable.